all Paul Butler's race to win. Carl Handwerk pushing Paul Butler to the win. Oh, they're side by side coming to win.
Oh no! Oh no!
Anthony Kieswetter is your winner.
Legs are tied, his hands are broken. Alone I try, with words unspoken. Silent cry, a breath is frozen. With blinded eyes, I fear myself. It's burning down, it's burning high. When ashes fall, the legends rise. We burn it out, a mile wide. When ashes fall, the legends rise. Throat is dry, my vision's fading. I'm paralyzed and left here waiting, taking time. Just one step forward, won't lose my mind. I'm here to stay. It's burning down, it's burning high. When ashes fall, the legends rise. We burn it out, a mile wide. When ashes fall, the legends rise. Whoa. Do something about it, or just stand there and bleed. It's burning down, it's burning high. When ashes fall, the legends rise. We burn it out, a mile wide. When ashes fall, the legends rise. Whoa. Legends rise.
I am Roland Johns. I am Sim Racing.
I'm Wes Fuller, driver the number 35, stand up to Cancer Forward. I am Sim Racing.
Hi, I'm Cameron Peterson. I am Sim Racing.
What's going on? It's Rob Biotti from 4i Racing, driving the number 44 Toyota Camry, and I am Sim Racing.
Hello, I am Christopher Hamilton, and I am Sim Racing.
Hi, I'm Eric Andrews. I am Sim Racing.
We are
Sim
Sim
Racing.
Racing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Core Premier Series. Tonight's race is going to be a special one. We are at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Battle on the Brickyard tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We also have a special cause they're going to be racing for. Carl, I'll go ahead and let you talk about that real fast.
Yes, sir. We'll start with the thing that's going to be on a lot of drivers' minds tonight is the final race before the playoff starts. So there's a lot of guys that are kind of on the bubble, a lot of guys that need a win. So you're going to see a lot of guys getting probably aggressive, at least towards the end. And with the starting order being the reverse order of the point standings, it definitely shakes everything up too. But as far as the special cause, my uncle Barry Kistler is the sponsor for the race tonight. Typically, we do a military theme for him because he knows a lot of guys that have been in different combat situations, and we usually try and send a shout out to that. But we actually had a young individual that is close to one of our drivers, Paul Butler, that passed away earlier this week. Perrin Miller is his name. He fought for a while with brain tumor, with cancer, and Just when it looked like everything was finally going good for him, it kind of reared its ugly head again, and unfortunately, he lost his battle at the age of 10 earlier this week. So, definitely driving with a heavy heart tonight, and I talk about it all the time. Cancer sucks. There's probably somebody that everybody knows that has cancer, and it's never good, and especially when you see a young kid like that really never had a chance to live his life. It's a shame. So, a couple of us are going to be running a hashtag Parent Strong paint scheme out there tonight, and thoughts and prayers out to his family. All the friends that have come to know him for a short time, and anything that you want to do to try and help contribute. They're wanting all contributions to the Make-A-Wish of Eastern North Carolina, and I'm sure Moose will put that up there. But yeah, it sucks, that we have to go through this kind of thing, and it's like I said. I mean, cancer just straight up sucks, and to take a life away that early, there's not much to say about it.
No, I totally agree with you. In the chat description, or in the chat, I actually just posted the link for the donation page. It goes straight to the Eastern North Carolina Make-A-Wish Foundation. So if anyone wants to directly donate to there, go ahead and click in the chat. The link is was just posted right now.
Yep, I appreciate it. I mean, we'll we're definitely going to put on a good show, and hopefully, anyone that's been affected by it, we'll try and put on a show that he would have been proud of, watching us out there. So, again, thoughts and prayers from all the core family out to to the Miller family, and to anybody else that was affected by this tragedy here.
Definitely, man. Well, time to change pace just a tad bit. For tonight's standings, just so everyone knows, tonight is the last night for the playoff race. So for people to get in there, they need to get a win. Right now, we have in the clinch, it's going to be Nick Nickerson, Carl Handwerk, Kevin Foster, Dan Heisey, Eric Andrews, and then looks like Wes Fuller, Paul Butler, Terry Condas, Gregory Thompson, Willie Evernham, Matt Crockett, Brandon Metler, Dylan McDonald, CJ Winslow, and Joshua Billiter are lined up to be in there. And then for Anthony Keysweater, Tim Thompson, Brock Veres, Dalton Drummonds, and Randy Post, those guys need to get a win to get themselves up there. So that is the playoff standings for tonight. And before we leave, don't jump out too soon. We will actually be giving you guys the final playoff standings so you can know who's going to be lined up and what's going to be coming up next week. With that being said, thank you for being in the booth, Carl. I know you guys are going to get ready to do the parade lap. Ladies and gentlemen, after they finish their first parade lap, we're going to be doing a one-lap moment of silence. So we'll have 3 cars out in the front, and we'll be quiet on all fronts, and then we'll pick it up right before we hit the green flag.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
You got it. Thank you, Carl. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and run through the lineup for everyone out on the field right now so you can see who's driving and what paint scheme they are running tonight. So we have Alan Castle running the number 93 Century 21 paint scheme. We have Brock Veres out there with his number 94 Hot Wheels. Also, if you haven't noticed, we are not doing qualifying tonight. We're actually doing a reverse order of the standings. So up in front, it's going to be, like I said, Alan Castle, Dalton Drummonds, Brock Veres. Drummonds running in the number 4 Lowe's. Then we're going to have Tim Thompson waiting for him to load. We have Anthony Keysweater running in the number 34 yellow and blue paint scheme. Then we have Team Perrin Strong out there with the Joshua Billiter number 3. We have the number 15. That's going to be in the DHL, Brandon Metler. Matt Crockett running in that Navy Marine Corps Navy Marine Corps Relief Society in that number 10. Willie Evernham in the Yeti Bush Light NOS energy drink. I like that color though. It's pretty awesome. Running the NOS paint scheme. Then once again another 68. That's gonna be Paul Butler running that Team Perrin paint scheme. Then we have another Perrin Strong. That's gonna be Wes Fuller, also running a Stamp to Cancer paint scheme. Someone that has been very close to battling cancer and have also lost family members to it. Eric Andrews running in. It looks like a Raise Energy drink. Number 9. Then we have in the Nesquik machine, Dan Heisey in the number 87. Carl Handwerk in the number 8, Kevin Foster in the number 8, Baskin Robbins. Let's zoom out real fast. We should be doing a 3 wide. Once again, We're going 3 wide as a salute to everyone out there. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Oh, looks like someone's still in the pits. For all the service members, everyone that's a first responder, anyone that has stepped and gone above and beyond, and also, does their job out there, that helps and provides. I can't say more. Can't say enough. Tonight's a tough one, but thank you to everyone out there for tuning in. And these guys wouldn't be doing it without their friends and family. So thank you guys for all tuning in, and hopefully you guys enjoy the race. All right, we'll continue going down the line we left off. Roll fast. All right. As we get ready to hit the front stretch, we're actually going to be going with our moment of silence. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be having a quick moment of silence, and we'll be back as we get ready to take the green flag for lap 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, condolences to the Miller family, and this is the least we can do is show support. We will be going green pretty soon. These guys are pulling off to the side. They should be regrouping and getting back in line. So we'll go ahead and give them a second to go ahead and do that. As we group it back up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going green right as we cross the line with 60 laps to go at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's see who is going to get a win tonight. Waiting on the call to come through. I think they're still lining themselves up. So some things you're going to see out tonight with these Indy cars, one thing we call arrow push. That is pretty much if someone's drafting in behind another driver and they're too close, what's going to happen is there's going to be no downforce being applied to the front wing. That lack of downforce then prevents them from making a turn. They're going to get really tight and slide up into the outside of the corner. So to prevent this, we're going to see drivers leaving probably a little bit more of a gap as they go into corners or having to lift off and carry it through. It's going to be quite a difficult thing to deal with. These Indy cars love to drive, like they stick, but arrow push is a thing, and it's going to happen. So If you see anyone, have an issue where they slide up and they slap the wall, that's going to be probably what's going to cause it. They have to be on their toes with their distance, watching their throttle and making sure they don't drive into that corner too hard and catch themselves and loosening up and sliding into that corner, or tightening up and sliding to the outside of that corner. So a couple things to look out for. But like I've told some of the drivers, a big way of getting around that, and like it was explained to them before, is lift off in the corner. Lift off more than the front guy. You don't need to be applying as much power. You can carry it through the, there being a lack of downforce also means a lack of resistance, which means you're going to be traveling faster than the person in front of you. So you definitely can take advantage of that. All right, this should be it, ladies and gentlemen. And we are green, green, green. Alan Castle launches it off to his outside. Dalton Drummond staying on all fours. Joshua Billiter looking for a move already in the start of the race. These guys got to be careful. Oh, looks like two drivers getting caught up there. Can they make it back onto the track? I believe that was Brock Veres and another driver. Can't catch his name as he flies down the lead. What a crazy start. No call. Oh, looks like we also have an accident out the back. Let's jump over to a quick caution report and catch what happened, because, like I said, these Indy cars, you can get up on them real fast and they can get real dangerous. Let's back it up and see what happened out on the track. Ooh, that did not look good. All right, just going to go ahead and confirm this one more time. Make sure, yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so here we go for the Critical Hit Bass Lures Caution Report. What you're going to see happen is Wes Fuller looking for a position, ends up diving down too low to the apron, has power applied to his tires, loses it and sends it up into the wall and slaps it, and looks like he scooped up Mark Thomas in that as well, running the number 12. So we'll have to see them get back into the field and work this out. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a Critical Hit Bass Lures Caution Report. All right, while we're under caution, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank our series sponsors for tonight. That's going to be TechNet Professionals, Your Buying Machine, Southern Heart Creations, Joka Graphics, Mission Car Care. And then also for our broadcast sponsors, it's going to be, once again, Critical Hit Bass Lures and also Southern California's Nautilus Media Systems. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. I know we had a little bit of a different start. It happens, but definitely we're going to see a good race tonight. So like you saw right there, a couple other things that I've talked with some of the other drivers is coming into some of those corners. Like we saw Wes re-enter that apron and hit the green. I was talking to Josh about that and explaining, a little bit about these Indy cars and cars that have so much power behind their tires. Something that you can do to prevent that is you gotta be in the mindset. But what happens is if you feel like you're gonna lose control, let off the gas. Don't even touch it and just drive the car. You're gonna lose a couple positions, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna hit the green. You're gonna de-wedge yourself. You're gonna pretty much come into a situation where you should lose control when under power, but the fact that you don't have gas on those tires, what happens is you're just using your forward momentum to pass you across that location. If you have power applied and torques, it's pretty much those tires are going to torque yourself around. If there's no torque being applied to those tires and they're just going to roll through, you're just going to pass straight over that green. It is going to be a little unstable, but it's more manageable than having any amount of power applied. Even with a little bit of power, there's so much torque behind these tires that they'll instantly spin you and send you for a loop. So if you lift off, you're going to have a bad corner and you can see it coming. Lift off, let it go, dive it down or do what you got to do. But no power applied. These things are pretty manageable as long as you're not all tires in the green. You're fine. If you have two tires or you're trying to cut through, you'll be okay. And then also applying power is really important too. Never apply power when you feel loose. Only apply power when you feel like all four tires have reconnected and you have stability under your car. If you apply power when these when you're already loose or you're on a uneven surface, same thing's going to happen. They're going to unhook. You're going to go for a quick spin, and you're most likely going to slap the wall. So there's a lot of things that are, these cars are really touchy. They're pretty easy to drive, but you have to know how to get around any mistakes out in the track, which is, make sure not to apply power when you're coming into an area that's pretty questionable for yourself, and then just avoiding aero push and making sure to lift and carry yourself through and not have that issue where you're driving yourself directly behind someone, no downforce, and then you slide up and slap the wall. So a lot of things can happen on the track, but definitely a little minor things are avoidable, and you just got to work hard at racing in the right mindset and making sure that you stay out there and you do what you can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like 20 drivers out in the field. Lights are off. Means we're going to be going green. Up in front, we have Dalton Drummond, Joshua Builder, Matt Crockett, and Alan Castle. Behind them, Paul Butler sitting in 5th, Brandon Mettler in 6th, Eric Andrews and Kevin Foster in 7 and 8. We'll see how these guys handle this restart. Once again, like I said, these things are they're touchy, but they're easy to drive in the sense that they give you overconfidence of being glued to the track. You gotta drive a little bit careful. You can drive with confidence. Just make sure when you're behind someone, you go into a corner. Just check up on that. Don't keep gas applied. You're gonna send yourself in the wall. All right, for this restart, let's go ahead and ride along with Paul Butler. We'll go ahead and jump onto his gyro camera. You guys can get a first-hand view of what it looks like for these guys on this restart. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Green flag up in the air. And we are green, green, green tonight. Paul Butler with a little bit of an unsteady restart. He's going to go ahead and pull off to the side, let these guys get around him, pick speed back up, and pull back into the pack. All right, down the back straight right now. Looks like Joshua Billiter trying to defend against Matt Crockett, trying to get around him. We're going to see these guys swing through this corner real fast. Matt Crockett lined up behind Joshua Billiter looking for that move. Oh, and I think we just saw an accident back there. Anthony Keysweater making a mistake on that corner and slapping it into the wall. Let's go ahead and jump to a quick critical at best Lewis caution report and find out what happened. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Looks like Anthony Keysweater did touch the apron. He sends it into the corner, sends it down to the apron one more time. You see his back end just already unhooked, has nowhere to go, drives it up and clips the wall with him. Ouch, looks like he scooped up Mason Smith with him too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a critical hit past Lewis caution report. And one thing to note, as you saw, he hit that apron, definitely had power applied. You can see his back end kind of, got a little swervy there, and that's pretty much evident of there being power applied to those cars or to those rear tires, and you got to be careful of that. All right, we are back live. Pace car catches up to everyone out in the field. Our lineup for tonight, still top 6, going to be Dalton Drummond, Joshua Billiter, Matt Crockett, Brandon Mettler, Kevin Foster, and Eric Andrews. So it looks like Kevin Foster and Eric Andrews moving up a couple positions. Nick Nickerson working his way up the field. Alan Castle dropped back quite a bit. He's sitting in 8th right now. But there's definitely a lot of time to make up some room and get out there on the track. One thing to note for tonight's race, it will be no comp caution, so these guys are going to have to drive all the way straight through, do green flag pits when necessary. Right now, since they do have cautions, it's going to be a little bit easier for them to pit and get back out there in plenty of time, but it's going to be up to them to grab tires and grab fuel. So we'll have to see how that plays out for some of these drivers. All right. Should be about 2 to go. I believe after we cross this over, we will be getting the lights off on the pace car and 1 to go. Kevin Foster hitting the pits. So some of these guys up in front, they need to play some really good defense. They need to make sure Kevin Foster, Eric Andrews, Nick Nickerson, and Carl Handwerk, some of our faster drivers, don't drive up the line and take away their positions from them. These guys definitely can see a win out here. They just need to stick tight, run the race out the way they want to, and just stay relevant in the race. That's all you got to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 to go. So let's look a little bit at their times right now. So out on the track, the best laps they've thrown down are 42s. Let's see, Dalton Drums the 42.879. Some of these guys in practice were actually throwing down 40, about 40 second or 40.5 was one of the fastest I've seen out there. So we're going to see these guys probably run down into the low 40s as the track breaks out. Right now, everyone, it's tough. A lot of these guys have to drive this track and car setup for the first time, and especially in a big pack. So we're going to see these guys trying to find themselves out on the track. Some of the guys up in front, they'll be able to hold their own, but some of the other guys are, that's still a little bit new for them. They got to get used to, aero push and really judging some of those corners. After that happens, we'll see see how the pack stretches out, and we'll see how it turns out towards the end. But definitely got to keep an eye on Kevin Foster, Eric Andrews, and Nick Nickerson. Those guys sitting in 5th, 6th, and 7th right now. All right, pace car is off, ladies and gentlemen, which means green flag is up in the air. Dalton Drummonds has the restart. And we are green, green, green tonight. Dalton Drummonds doing what he can to stay up ahead. Josh Billiter trying to keep him in line. Look at that. Kevin Foster and Eric Andrews trying to stay behind Brandon Mettler as best as possible. Brandon drops down low. Looks like he made a mistake. He's going to go ahead and get himself out of that section as, Kevin Foster making some moves, going side by side with Joshua Billiter. Eric Andrews trying to take a 3 wide. Gets in front of Josh. Josh looking for some room behind these guys. You got to be careful making those transitions. Oh, number 10, Matt Crockett slaps into the wall. Another driver getting caught up in that. That is most likely going to bring out the caution tonight. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, to a quick Critical Hit Bass Lures caution report. All right, we're going to go ahead and ride along with Matt Crockett on this accidents up ahead, so you guys can see exactly what happened. All right, here we go. So, as you can see, Matt Crockett coming into the corner, gets a little low, clips the apron on the white, tries to correct, ends up scooping up with him one of the other drivers. Ooh, and won't get you guys dizzy with that. That was a critical hit past Lewis caution report. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our in-race reporter for tonight. That's going to be Brandon Mettler. Let's grab him and drag him into the booth. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 15 himself, Brandon Mettler. Welcome to the booth, man.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I saw you have a little bit of an issue on that restart. What happened with you there?
No, I just took it in too deep and going into one, and I think I caught it the grass or caught the apron or something. My rear end kicked out, and I about lost it in front of everybody, so I just took it down the access road.
No, that's a smart move. Dive it down and then recollect it later.
Yeah, we got plenty of laps left and everything like that. So
yeah, you got plenty of laps to get that back. So you're sitting right now in eighth position, or in eighth position right now. What are you going to see as your toughest run to get yourself back up the field? You know, you have Paul Owens and Paul Butler in front of you, and then Nick Nickerson. So you definitely have quite a line to beat.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not really sure what the strategy is going to look like with all these cautions and everything, but I mean, my game plan going in was just keep it clean as long as I could, and then at a certain point when I felt I needed to turn it up a little bit and start going towards the front more and start passing guys, because not always great in these cars. I haven't ran many races in these cars, so I'm just keeping it clean and lasting as long as I can to be at the end is the key to it.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if you've since you haven't had too much wheel time, have you had a time to figure out aero push and kind of find a solution for your driving style for that?
Oh yeah. So I'm pretty conservative overall, if you haven't been able to tell already, but figuring out what I've ran in practice and early on these couple laps, if I'm not going to have the run going in to say probably 300 or 400 feet going into the corner, I'm probably just going to back out of it just because I don't want to run it low and then risk getting loose and saving tires and all that kind of jazz. So if I get run down like the front stretch or the back stretch, I'll take it. But if I'm not going to have it by the time I get to the corner, I'm just not going to take it.
Yeah, I understand that. All right, I believe you're going to be going 1 to green, so I'll go ahead and put you back up there. Thanks for popping down, and I'll pull you in next caution so we can talk about what happened out there. But yeah, just keep her safe, man. The whole thing behind these Indy cars, dude, you got to survive the race first. So survive the race with these things, and then fight for position on the last 5 laps or last 10 laps. You'll really have a chance to do that, and work on your pit strategy because it's going to be important. Once these guys figure out how to avoid slapping the wall, we'll definitely see ourselves into a longer run.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Right now, we're looking at a field of 20 guys piled up. That's a tough line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not easy to pass here either.
No, it's not. Well, it is, but it's also really dangerous because everyone else is trying to pass.
Exactly.
All right, man, I'll put you back up there. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
There you go. The number 15, Brandon Mettler, our in-race reporter for tonight. As you can see, it's not easy out there. This is one of his first times touching these cars and on the same track. A lot of these guys have to deal with that. They have to be adaptive and figure out the racing line while they're racing. These guys do have a little bit of practice time before to get some of the quirks out. But when it comes down to racing against other people, they don't really get a time to practice 20 drivers on the track. So we'll see how they make it out. We should see the cautions dwindle off probably a little bit as everyone's figuring out their pace and what they're going to be doing on the track. All right, so for this restart, it's going to be Dalton Drummonds, Kevin Foster, Eric Andrews, Joshua Billiter, Nick Nickerson, and Paul Butler for our top 6. Ladies and gentlemen, the people that have been sneaking up the field, Kevin Foster, Eric Andrews, and Nick Nickerson. Same thing with Paul Butler and Owens there, making some moves. We'll have to see how it pays off. All right, getting ready for the restart. Pace car drops off. Cue the music. Green flag up in the air, ladies and gentlemen. We are green tonight. Dalton Drummond still leading the restart. Kevin Foster right behind him. Eric Andrews and Joshua Billiter in tow. Down the line, Dalton's driving a little low on that line. Kevin Foster and Eric Andrews doing what they can to stay with him. Looks like he's going to go ahead and try and swing off the off the draft. Kevin Foster's like, I got the speed. Don't worry about it. And he's going to go ahead and take him into the corner. Kevin Foster, nice pass around Dalton Drummond's. Eric Andrews looking to catch up. Smooth is fast for these guys. As you can see, some of the drivers jockey for position in the back. Let's go ahead and drop back and watch that. Paul Owens trying to get around Joshua Billiter right now as they take him into turn 1. Josh is going to go ahead and give it to him, dropping behind him. Looks like Brandon Metler having, looks like, I want to say Willie Everett. Sorry, it's hard to read as these guys are flying by right now. And where'd Metler go? Yeah, Metler's got Paul Butler behind him looking for some space, and same thing with Willie Evernham. We'll go ahead and jump over to that. As you can see, too wide. Willie Evernham looking to the inside of Metler, trying to get a pass on him. Willie steps out, tries to take him on turn 1. Stays to his inside. Paul Butler staying out there. Willie with a nice pass up in front. Got to be careful on the draft now. Hitting that front straight. Up in front, Eric Andrews, Kevin Foster, and Nick Nickerson already up there. Dalton Drummond's dropping down into 4th. Paul Owens sitting in 5th right now. We'll slide up to the front so you can see what's going on as Nick Nickerson try. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a caution. Let's jump over to a quick critical at Bachelor's caution report. All right. Looks like this was Dalton Drummond's caught up in this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Dalton Drummond's was sitting in 4th, dives down, touches the apron right there, still applying power, tries to regain it. Nope, and you're up and over, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare to get dizzy because he is spinning around. And done. Nope, still going for it. All right. Like I said before, those aprons are extremely dangerous. You got to be careful. Make sure you're off the power until you have completely regained control. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a critical hit Bachelor's caution report. Ladies and gentlemen, our in-race reporter, Brandon Metler. So, last time we talked, you were sitting... Actually, you're kind of in the same spot. You're in P7 right now. You're floating back and forth.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's fine. I saw you get overtaken on one of those corners. That's bound to happen, especially with some of the faster drivers coming in behind you. So, looking at you guys hitting the caution or hitting the pits right now, do you plan on staying out, or are you going to be dropping in?
I plan on staying out for right now and kind of hoping that we get more cautions, kind of stay up front and see what happens after that. But I don't want to catch behind everybody and then be tempted to pass everybody and everything like that. So I'll stay up front when I can.
So something that I don't know if you know this, but when it comes to these cars, tires is going to play a pretty big effect in the late game. Just maybe a word of advice is practice a little bit playing defense against, because Kevin Foster and Nick Nickerson both drop back. Looks like Eric Andrews decided to stay out. Kevin Foster and Nick Nickerson are going to drive their way back up there. Most likely they're going to try and get around you. I'd practice playing defense against them. Just a little bit. Don't get too aggressive with it, but either that or tuck in behind them and see if you can pick up their line. Well, that might be a location for you to maybe grab up some speed about midway through the track, learn some racing lines that they're putting out there, and then hopefully hit the pits, come back out with a fresh set of tires and some fuel, and then overtake those guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely in the idea of it, I guess. Anyways, a little bit. When I was running with Paul, I think it was Willie. I was running behind Paul and had a huge run, but I saw Willie on my inside, so
yep.
I kind of cut him off, and I was surprised how easy it was able to pretty much get out of line, I guess, because in stock cars, whenever you have a lot of weight in the rear end, where if you make a sharp move like that, you're gonna have to chase the weight in the body and everything like that. So
yeah, and you don't really get that with these Indy cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's where a little bit of the confidence comes in. It's a little unnerving, but what you got to make sure that you don't get too overconfident with chopping someone's nose off, because it can definitely backfire on you if you dive down too low and you touch that apron.
Yep, that's just why it's important to kind of know what's around you and keep your surroundings in check and everything like that. So
Yep. All right, man, I'm gonna put you back. Thanks for coming back up here. Hopefully, we'll have a nice long run for you coming up soon, so I shouldn't have to pull you in for a little bit.
All right, sounds good to me.
You got it. Best luck out there.
Yep, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, pace car should have its lights off. Let's double check real fast. That is correct. We are 1 to green. Up in front, Eric Andrews, Joshua Biller, Willie Evernham, Brandon Mettler sitting in 4th, Bennett Allen in 5th, and 6th is going to be Alan Castle. Like I said before, it looks like Nick Dickerson and Kevin Foster driving up the field back and forth, dropping in for fuel and tires, working their way back up again. They're going to probably keep that rotation for a while, just get some practice and stay on their toes. So these guys need to be careful and use that to their advantage too. Play a little bit of defense, follow these guys, learn their racing lines if you can. It's a prime opportunity halfway through or getting close to the halfway point of the race. You have time to really, play around with it a little bit. You can, if the pack stays close, you can definitely work your way up the pack. We saw these guys do it before. It is a little bit of a tall order, but it's not too tall where, most people can't do it. So it's doable. They just need to spend some time, pick up some different racing lines and see if they can work their way up there. All right, getting ready for the restart. Ladies and gentlemen, pace car is dropping off. Gonna ride along with Kevin Foster for this restart. And we are green. As you see, he steps out just a little bit to grab some downforce on Alan Castle up in front of him. That front pack is gone as they try to put some distance between these guys. As we hit the front straight, looks like Eric Andrews doing a good job staying ahead. And I want to say that's the 24. Bennett Allen looking for some position out there, trying to figure out where he wants to be. Jumping back and forth, staying behind Brandon Mettler. These guys hit the front straight one more time. Willie Evernham leading these guys. Eric Andrews stepped out pretty far. Kevin Foster trying to shake Nick Nickerson off his draft. Back down to the front straight. Eric Andrews doing a great job up in front. Kevin Foster and Nick Nickerson looking to get around Joshua Billiter. Josh trying to find his line back, but looks like he's a little unsure about rejoining the pack there. You got to be careful. Nick looking to get around him. Ooh, Josh having a bad time coming off that corner. Good recovery there. Got to be careful. Right along with Nick Nickerson running the number 85. He's got quite a bit of a gap in front of him, but he should be able to close that if he just runs his lines out the way he needs to. Bennett Allen up running in fourth right now. Brendan Mettler right in front of him. Brandon trying to reel in Willie Evernham. Eric Andrews, he is gone. They gave him room to run away with it, and he is going for it. Eric Andrews throwing down a 41.202 for his best lap, or for his last lap. Best lap he ran was a 41.081. Wow. Back on the front stretch. Looks like Nick Nickerson finally able to catch up to Kevin Foster. Trying to stay in that draft. Kevin trying to shake him off. A battle for these guys to catch up right now. As you can see right now, the field has definitely stretched out now. This is what's going to happen. Once these guys get a couple laps under their belt, they're going to stretch out. They're going to look for, you know, racing partners or drafting partners and working their way up the field. The driver we haven't seen, but he's moving up the field right now, is Carl Handwerk behind Paul Butler, looking to get around him and also looking for a move on Paul Owens. Ooh, touching the wall a little bit. Getting a little tight. Nick Nickerson still looking to catch up to Kevin Foster. As you can see, the gap closed up quite a bit. Kevin Foster doing all he can on those straights to shake Nick off. We're going to see him watch swing left, swing right. Trying to break as much of that draft as possible. Don't let Nick behind you, but also stay up in front. Eric Andrews still with a great lead. Willie Evernham leading the second part of the front pack. Sitting in second. Brandon Metler right behind him, trying to ride it out. Now, if no caution comes out for a while, we're definitely going to see these front guys have to drop in and grab tires and fuel a little bit sooner than the guys that are sitting right now on 5th and 6th. So this is going to be a quick change-up for these drivers out in the track, and how are they going to handle it? Seeing the corner of my eye, Kevin Foster and Nick Nickerson waving up and down that field. Still a pretty mellow battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Or sorry, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's me, Willie Evernham and Brandon Metler and Bennett Allen. These guys kind of just taking their time, riding it out, not battling it too hard, just kind of just coasting behind each other. Definitely more of an active battle between 5th and 6th, Kevin Foster and Nick Nickerson. Looks like Willie Evernham making a little contact with the outside wall. Oh, lap traffic. Got to be careful. Oh, gets into Nick Nickerson and sends him flying. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to most likely throw out the caution. Let's see what happens for tonight's caution report. It's a little hard to tell from the angle, but I'll give you guys what I see. Nick Nickerson looking to get around him. Looks like he clips his wing and then tries to get back into position and then ends up getting scooped up. We'll watch that one more time, but from a different angle. As you can see, he comes in, wing gets clipped, and then it sends himself spinning. That's a bummer. That was a critical hit Bass Lures caution report. All right, as these guys hit the pits, ladies and gentlemen, we are halfway through the race. Lap 30 of 61. Yeah, that was painful. Yeah, it looks like Nick Nickerson was just trying to get around him as fast as possible. And he was trying to do it on a corner, which is really tough. Yeah, definitely not a good look for Nick Nickerson. That's going to put him out. He's going to have to get a faster pair and most likely put him down behind. Looks like he's sitting in 14th right now. So up in front, we have Brandon Mettler, Mark Thomas, Eric Andrews, Kevin Foster. And we're going to have to wait for these guys to go across the the line right now and finish the pits because it's going to reorder everyone as they get out there. With everyone pitting, looks like Nick Nickerson able to snag a third. Interesting. Who's up in front of him? That's Matt Crockett. Matt Crockett shouldn't be a lap behind. Let's double check. Nope, Matt Crockett is a lap behind. So that's going to be Brandon Mettler, Mark Thomas, Nick Nickerson, Eric Andrews. Wow, Nick having a good job and actually making it up ahead after that caution. And it looks like Kevin Foster hitting the pits and dropping back down to 9th. Tim Thompson in 8th. Paul Butler in 7th. Carl Handwerk in 6th. Carl making a slow move up the field. You know, you usually see Kevin Foster doing that, but Carl is he's making some moves now. Oh, nope. It's reorganizing itself. So, sorry about the mix-up, folks. I'll run it through one more time. It's going to be Brandon Mettler, Mark Thomas, Eric Andrews, Paul Owens, Carl Handwerk, and Paul Butler for our top 6. Looks like Nick Nickerson, after that restart's pushing him down to 13th. He just came on the pits fast, that's all. All right, lights are off. We are 1 to go. We've seen Eric Andrews have a pretty dominating lead for tonight. Can he keep that lead up as Carl Handwerk, sitting in 4th, is right behind him? All right. On the back straight right now, getting ready to hit that last 2 corners before we hit the front straight. Everyone lined up nice and neat, looking good out there. That's right. Brandon Mettler is going to be our in-race reporter for tonight's race. Didn't pull him on this caution. I don't feel right to pull him every caution, but we'll get to him as often as possible when some stuff happens. But I think right now we're getting ready for a long run, so I don't want to mess with his game. Ladies and gentlemen, the pace car is off. Green flag up in the air. Under 30 laps to go tonight at Indianapolis. Let's see who takes the checkered flag tonight. Brandon Mettler with a great start. Eric Andrews trying to stay up ahead of Carl Handwerk as Paul Owens takes the inside of him. Looks like Eric able to get around Paul. Coming out of that first corner. Carl Handwerk behind him. Paul Butler lined up behind these guys too. Ooh, Matt Crockett getting a little swervy there on the exit. Brandon Mettler getting caught up by Eric Andrews. Eric's going to try and take him on the inside. Carl Handwerk right behind him, getting close to that apron. Mettler overshooting that corner just a tad bit. Eric is around. Now it's time for Carl Handwerk to make his move. He's going to catch up on that straight, but Paul might cause a little bit of a tough point. If Paul stays down low, that's going to prevent Carl from trying to get around him. Looks like Paul tried to make a run on him going into turn 1, was not able to complete that. He's got to restack and get back behind him on the next straight. Carl stepping out, trying to keep the speed through. He's going to go ahead and challenge Mettler side by side. And Carl is clear around Brandon Mettler. Ladies and gentlemen, another pass being made. Now it's up to Paul Butler and Paul Owens to make a move. Paul Butler right behind Paul Owens, sitting in 5th place right now. Did start in 10th. As these guys try to shake off that draft, they're going to have to stay in tucked behind each other. Down the front straight. Paul Owens stepping out on Mettler. Goes for the pass, side by side. Into turn 1, Mettler's going to go ahead and let him go. Can he recover it? Tucks in right behind him. Tries to stay up on him on the exit. Owens shakes the draft. But does he have enough speed to stay up ahead of him? Yes, he does. Butler looking for a pass. Drops to the inside. Whoa! Getting a little close there. Good call on Butler. Did not clip Mettler's back tires. Oh, contact. Dan Heisey and, looks like Dan Heisey clipping the wall as Bennett Allen makes a pass. Bennett making a move on Mettler. As he swings around him. Mettler finding himself behind Paul Butler right now. Paul trying to reel in Owens. Uh-oh. Looks like Bennett Allen blinking a little bit. Steps out to the inside. Tries to make a pass. Clean move on Paul Butler there. Got to be careful, though. He is blinking out on the track, so you do not want to get caught up in that. Up in front, Eric Andrews and Carl Handwerk. We'll go ahead and check in with these guys as Carl tries to reel in Eric Andrews and make a run for it. Couple car lengths behind, but definitely within reach. As we get ready for 21 laps to go at Indianapolis. Bennett Allen looking to get around Paul Owens. Ooh, contact with the wall. Who was that? Looks like, I think Bennett Allen slapped the wall a little bit. And we have a move being made. Carl Handwerk stepping out to the inside of Eric Andrews. Slices right in front of him. How is Eric going to take that? Is he going to try and reel him back in? Nope. Ladies and gentlemen, the caution is out. Let's go to a quick critical at Bass Lures caution report. Ouch. All right, here we go. So, for this caution report, Dan Heisey coming off the turn. Looks like he's in control. Drops down, touches the green, has power. Oh, and he's trying to reclaim it. Oh, and clips Jimmy Covert there. Goes for a spin. Seems to have made it out okay, but Jimmy did not do so well. Looks like Jimmy had to reset him or send himself back to the pits and get a tow. Ouch. That was a critical hit Bass Lures caution report. All right, up in front, Carl Handwerk, Eric Andrews, Paul Owens, Bennett Allen, Paul Butler, and Brandon Mettler for our top 6. Nick Nickerson moving his way back up into 7th, Kevin Foster sitting in 11th, Tim Thompson in 10th, and 9th going to Brock Barris. We're going to go ahead and wait for Mettler to hit the pits before we pull him in. Don't want to mess with his strategy. Ooh, looks like someone had a bad pit entrance there. Ouch. All right, let's go ahead and bring in Brandon Mettler. Talk to him a little bit about what was going on with him on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 15, Brandon Mettler, in the booth right now. Hey, man, looks like he had a little bit of a rough run that last stint. What do you think you're going to do to kind of shore that up?
Oh boy, I had a lot of things going on. That caution before, I wasn't going to go in no matter what because I needed those halfway points because I'm right on the bubble. And with me missing last week, I was even bigger deficit. So I had to get those halfway points, and I was going to lead a lap. So I got quite a bit there, hopefully. And then I noticed when I put in just then, I had 0.42 gallons of fuel left. So I knew I had to back it off and save my tires because my tires were bad too. I was getting really, really loose on exit, and I was low on fuel. So I had to back everything up pretty much and hope for caution. And thank the Lord it did, because one more lap I would have been out of fuel.
Yep, no, I could see that. Yeah, you'd have to green flag pit on that one, and that would have set you back quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Well, luckily caution came out in your favor, so you're able to work yourself up there. Fresh tires, fresh fuel. Hopefully that plays in your favor.
Yep, me too.
All right, man. Go get him.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, there we go. Brandon Mettler running low on tires and on fuel. Hopefully a fresh set will get him back in front. We did see him, take more of a passive stance on some of these drivers trying to get around him. That definitely accounts for it, not wanting to battle it out. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to stay in the race. All right, on the back straight. Once again, I'd like to thank our series sponsors: Mission Car Care, TechNet Professionals, Your Buying Machine, Southern Heart Creations, and Joka Graphics. Also to our broadcast sponsors, that's going to be Critical at Bass Lures, giving us those lovely caution reports, and also Southern California's Nautilus media systems. All right, on the last turn, getting ready for the pace car to drop off. Tim Thompson, Alan Castle up in front. Tim Thompson, another driver never to count out, the number 5. That guy will surprise you sometimes. Pace car getting ready to pull off. There we go. Cue the music. Green flag up in the air. Under 20 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are green tonight. Tim Thompson with a good start. Carl Handwerk right behind him. Carl's going to look for that step out. Tim's stepping out in front of Alan Castle. Nick Nickerson right behind him. This is going to be a little bit of a shuffle. Carl looking to the inside. Oh, Tim drops down, throws a nice block. Does not let him get in front. These 20 laps. Oh, and we have a caution or an accident. Eric Andrews getting clipped on that exit. Who got into him? Let's find out what happened. Oh boy, that's a bummer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. So Eric Andrews, his wing touches Carl's tire and sends him for a spin. Ouch. That is painful. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a critical hit past the Lewis caution report. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be careful. You know, those open tires, you get yourself caught up in there. Go for a nice spin. All right, looks like some of these guys are going to stay out. No one is hitting the pits. No need. You know, these Indy cars are not easy to drive. They stick. They give you overconfidence on the situation, but if you've ever sat in a simulator and driven any of these Indy cars, you're going to find out that for as much as they stick to the ground and give you confidence of traction, they are not. They are very testy and touchy, and depending on the situation, you can easily lose control. And like you heard me tell these guys before, you know, when you hit those corners, you feel like you're gonna lose control. Just let off the gas, let her punch through, and you know, do your best to keep it under control. There's not much you can do. If you have any power applied to these guys, they'll go for a spin and they'll be out. But you can actually apply that to most of these cars out here. Any of these GTE, GT3, you know, very downforce efficient cars. You want to make sure that you are not on the gas when going into a unstable area, like hitting the inside grass or touching the apron. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but you definitely do your best to shore up, you know, what's going to happen out on the track. All right, as we get closer and closer, 10 laps to go, I am going to no longer pull in our end race reporter. Now is the time for him to focus, and I'm not going to go ahead and break that focus for him. So it's just going to be me narrating what's happening. Up in front, Tim Thompson, Nick Nickerson, Paul Butler, Alan Castle, Brendan Mettler, and Mark Thomas sitting in our top 6, ladies and gentlemen. This is most likely going to be the battle to see. We do have some people sitting around mid-pack, but no one really in a position to make a move yet. Lights should be going off this lap around. All right, lights are off. 1 lap to go. All right, Nick Nickerson, Tim Thompson, side by side, going to be on the restart. Paul Butler and Alan Castle behind them. Looks like Brandon Miller still in the top 5. Same thing with Mark Thomas working their way up there. Looks like Eric Andrews, Kevin Foster, and Carl Handwerk all rotating back to the field. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Pace car getting ready to pull off the field. Green flag up in the air. And we are green. Tim Thompson with a good start. Nick Nickerson on his outside. Paul Butler right behind him. How's he going to handle the corner? Nick's going to try and overtake him. Looks like Tim having a slow run on that corner. Uh-oh. That is not going to be good, as we are seeing some drivers move up that field, and this is going to get a little hairy as we are pushing 3 wide in the back. Oh, my gosh. Nick Nickerson swinging really heavily, trying to recover himself off that corner. Paul Owens getting into Alan Castle and driving 3 wide around the corner right now. We're going to go ahead and stick with that pack just a tad bit. Contact with the wall. Oh, and Eric Andrews is out in the back spinning. Caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go find out what happened to Eric Andrews out on the track. All right, here we go with the critical hit pass lose caution report. Eric Andrews dives down low, tries to avoid the number 50, ends up finding himself in the apron, and you are going to have a bad day. Sends it up and clips the wall. Oof. Let's watch that one more time. You can see, gets unhooked there. We'll slow it down a little bit. So you can see he comes up on the 50 right now. I think he tries to brake check. No, I think he collides with them. Drives down, touches, the white, pulls himself up, and oof, up and over, ladies and gentlemen. He is going, gone. That was a critical hit pass lose caution. All right, and we are back live. Under caution, getting ready for... Well, it's technically 10 laps to go right now, but as we finish off, we should be about 3 laps to go, or not 3, 8 laps to go once the caution drops. So we'll have to see what happens. All right. So our lineup for right now, it's going to be Nick Nickerson, Paul Butler, Brandon Metler sitting in third. There you go, man. Tim Thompson in fourth, and Bennett Allen in fifth. Sixth going to go to Paul Owens right now. Good lineup by these guys out there. Kevin Foster finding his way back up to 7th. Carl Handwerk sitting in 10th. Willie Evernham making his way back up there, sitting in 11th. I think Brock Bears is still sitting in 7th. Maybe making a move up. Can't tell too much. Well, folks, if you want to be active in the chat, let me know who you think's going to pull away a win right now. With under 10 laps to go, we're going to see quite a bit of moves be made out in the field. And anyone, honestly, I would say from 10 back, or from 1 to 10, they still have a chance to work their way up the field. It's going to be tough, but definitely the top 6 guys have an opportunity to, to get that win, to be up in the podium. Everyone else, probably they have a chance to work their way up to the top, to the podium slot. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, but they need to have speed behind them. But it's doable. It just takes a lot of work, and you got to weave around some of these guys out here. So give me a shout out. Who do you think is going to take the podium tonight?
Who do I think?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, guest appearance in the booth, Eric Andrews, who is out of the running right now. Eric, welcome to the booth.
Yes, happy to be here, but not happy to be here, if you know what I mean. Had a strong run today. Just, yeah, unfortunate incident, a couple incidents, but it's going to be a exciting race here at the end. And you got a couple guys fighting here to make the points, making it into the playoffs here. And these cars, like I said, they're you can suck up if you're right behind somebody. If you're within a half second, you can suck up pretty good on them.
Yeah.
But you got to be within that half second. So you get about 10 laps on these tires, though. These cars really want to snap loose. So you see Nick's out front there. I don't know. Be interesting to see with the guys from behind if they'll be able to work together and get by him. I know Butler there in second. He's trying to just probably looking at more of points racing. He wants to make sure he makes these playoffs. So, but you never know. He also wants that first core win too. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you right there. That it's going to be tough for these guys to get around them. I think anyone, honestly, in the top 10 has an opportunity to get themselves up to the podium in these last laps, but they really have to work hard to drive themselves up the field.
Yeah, you really got to work hard. Work the draft right, especially getting off these corners. And if you can get right up behind somebody. Oh, there's a wreck there.
Oh, yeah, just caught that.
Look, Metler.
Oh, man.
Metler got into the wall there. I'm not sure if we got
All
any
right,
help there.
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a quick critical hit passengers caution report. And yeah, that did not sound good. Looks like a lot of guys getting swept up in that. Let's go ahead and roll that back. Oh, on the exit too. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And we are live. On the exit, you're going to see Metler. Looks like he's doing pretty well coming down the front straight.
It looks like he got a little bump there. He got a little bump there from
oh, yeah, he
Bennett
did.
Allen there. I think Bennett was trying to get a run, just wasn't quite clear and hooked him.
Yeah. He just
hooked him. Yeah, that really stinks. Metler was having a great run there, and he really needed to have a shot at a win there to get into the playoffs, and he had a good shot.
Yeah, that is... Well, at least he landed in, I think, his pit stall. Oh, no, he went over the pits and into the garage area. Yeah, that's not going to work out well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a critical hit passengers caution. Sorry for the slow motion, Metler. It looks cool. All right, let's get to the live scene up in front. All right. Nick Nickerson up in front, Paul Butler right behind him, Bennett Allen sitting in third. That's definitely going to go under review with Bennett Allen swooping across. Definitely probably a racing incident. But something I have noticed with tonight's race, there seems to be a little bit more net coating than usual. Some guys, their cars are a little wider than they should be. And I think something similar happened with you. I know Carl came under, or was it Carl came under you? Or
yeah, Carl was in front of me on that first one.
Yeah, that's what happened. And then your wing caught his tire.
It kind of let off, but I mean, when you look at the replay, I mean, it shows my car just snaps hard right for no reason. It's not like I even and
it looked like his tire like caught your wing, but that should have spun him too, as we saw with Metler there.
Yeah, it was
so I think there's a little bit of net coating shenanigans tonight with these cars.
Yeah, we've noticed that it's a deal of you get real close like that, you really can't bump draft with these things anyways. But I was just coming behind Carl on that one, and he had to get on the brake, let off a little bit, and I was there behind him, so I was just trying to get high a little bit, above him. But it's just, as I said, it just spun out there, and I just figured I'd go after it, sitting there and let a lot of laps, but it's fun out front. These cars really tighten up when you're in traffic, but you really got to get a good run coming off, and if you can get the draft, you can pop it in the 6th gear coming down the straightaway, and get underneath them. That really helps you big time. So this should be an interesting finish. We're gonna have it's like around
4. We should have 4 laps to go for the finish.
Yeah.
But definitely going to see some guys jockeying for position right now, with Paul Butler sitting in a good place for 2nd place. Looks like Carl Handwerk sitting in P4 right now, so definitely going to see him try and make a move on Brock Varys and Paul Butler. I think Nick Nickerson is going to have P1 or 1st place pretty much locked down. He's a tough one to get around in a short amount of time. Unless you get a hell of a run, he's going to play some pretty hard defense on you. So
it's going to be really interesting with Butler, because Butler's in a position right now where he's in and probably doesn't want to screw that up, but yet he also wants that first core win too.
Yeah, so. Right. It's and to top it off, he's got to race against. He's got to beat Nick Nickerson out of that 1st place, which is always a tough thing to do in a road car.
Yeah, and these guys, I mean, they're 15 laps on their tires. The good thing is they'd had a chance to cool them down. But I know on that long run that we had when I was out front there, and then I know Willie ended up wrecking, the car would get to where when you were coming off of the corner, it would just want to snap, and you could really feel it in the wheel. And I had to get to where I started letting off coming off of the corner, which is totally wrong. You shouldn't want to do that. But you had to, because that car would just snap, and there was no warning on it. I mean, you could feel it.
And I could see that. I was watching Josh practice, and I was talking to him about how to handle these Indy cars, and I was telling him, like, off that corner, you're really overcorrecting it and losing a lot of speed, because it does want to snap on you. It wants to whip you around there, and you have to be smooth with these cars. And I was telling him, like, hey, even if you feel like you're going to lose control, just let off the gas. And they'll correct themselves. But if you're losing control and you're on the gas, you might as well just sign your ticket and say goodbye, because you're gonna hit that wall so hard you're not gonna be back on the track. So at least with these cars, you can use their forward momentum to actually regain stability. You just need to make sure you're on top of it and you're mentally let go of the gas before you feel it step, but like let go of the gas and try and recontrol it. You'll get yourself back on there. It's just you might lose a position or two, but that's better than hitting the wall.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it looks like the pace car's getting ready to pull off here. We're going to have 5 laps of hopefully green flag racing here.
That is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, we are green. On the restart. That caution flag back out. Oh, man. Let's see what happened with that. That did not look good. Who got that? Whose car was that? Oh, that's Heisey. Oh! All right, I got to do a top down of this one. That one's a hard one to see, and it's in the main stand. Sorry, folks. It's going to be a little bit before I get the angle on it, because this is a very tough angle to get. Here, we'll have to do this.
Yeah, I don't know if Heisey missed a shift or what, but
no, Kevin Foster got into the back of him.
Got right in the rear.
Yeah,
of him.
he just smacked him. Ouch. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a critical hit pass. Lewis got. Oof. That looks painful, man.
Yeah.
Kevin had a good run. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that's locked in, and it's just go for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how being out front there, and I debated even like the halfway. The points were nice, but staying out for points wasn't going to get me anything. I wanted that win to try and get me a few extra points there in the playoffs, and so I decided to go ahead and pit. I think I finished third at the halfway there, but yeah, after Carl and I got together, I knew I had to get up on that wheel if I was going to get myself back up front there, and I just stunk to get back in. You can see it's tough with these cars. There's so many. So much suck up on them, and restarts. All it takes is one person, backs off, and you got nowhere to go. You can't bump at all with these cars.
Yeah, no. With these cars, it's like I was talking to some people. You really, honestly, like your overtaking spot is on the straight. You really got to work on catching up to someone on the straight and then beating them to that corner. If you're bump drafting, you're going to be in a bad spot. If you're trying to ride these guys all around the corner, you're gonna lose control, get tight, and slap the wall. And there's little things you can do to adjust, but most of the time you have to be on your toes with these cars. They're easy to drive, but they do not deal well with changes in the environment. Whether it's downforce or terrain or anything like that, or angle. They'll easily unhook from you.
Yeah.
So it's just they're temperamental cars. As simple as that. And that's what happens when you come to when you get into the more aero efficient cars. They become very temperamental when it comes to like breaking aero or breaking any of that down, breaking any of their traction.
Yeah, these cars are, like I said, they're very temperamental.
It's true. They are. They honestly like. The car I drive the most is the IR18, which is pretty close to these DW12s, and I can say from experience that car is so temperamental. Every little change in the road, it can upset the car, and you'll hit the wall. Like you have to really, really want to be, not want to be there, but you have to really drive careful. And learn every little aspect of the track so that when you go, to hit it and take it fast, when you have to lift, when to get back on the gas, and really judge every little aspect of it. Because it's these cars are great for doing rhythm in the sense of like hitting your lines, hitting those same points. Like they'll hit, every mark on the dime, just boom, boom, boom. But you miss something, you come in just too much gas, or you have no downforce, and they're like, nope, not today. They'll just send you out there. So it's tough. They're definitely not the easiest car out there, but they are awesome.
Fun. Yeah, they are fun to drive. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, my favorite honestly is taking these cars out, not too much onto an oval, but really throwing them out on like a road course that has some nice high speed turning. I'm trying to think. It's like I want to say Idaho. Is it Idaho that has a good I'm trying to think which track it is.
You got Laguna Seca. Well, of course, that one's got some
nice
windy.
That one you have to slow up quite a bit. I'd say Charlotte Roval's a really fun one for those two.
Yeah. Just
because you have a little bit of the chicanes, you have to really hit those corners pretty hard, but you can get back on the gas and fly out there. Anywhere you can take one of those prototype cars and have a fun time, you can take one of those Indy cars and have a blast.
Looks like lights are off on the pace car. Looks like we got a shot at a green-white checkered here. So
yep, might
gonna be interesting here.
Might stay out. It might not. We'll have to see how it lines up the green-white checkered.
Yeah, Carl there from fourth. He's another one who's just in there in the win it, and but you got Brock up there in third, and I think he pretty much is in a situation he needs to win to get in, and could get interesting. But Nick got a really good jump on this last one, and it seemed like Butler wasn't able to suck up very well on him. So we'll just have to see what happens here.
Someone I keep my eye on is Paul Owens. He's fast in these Indy cars. You know, he's been pacing himself, but I'd say you can see him tail in behind Carl, and maybe make a move on Brock Veras together and try and snag, you know, a position. And pace cars off, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag up in the air. 3 laps to go. Let's see what happens. And we are green tonight. Nick Nickerson up in front. Ooh, Paul slapping the wall on that restart. Looks like they both got a great jump. It's going to come down to Brock Veras having to play some defense against Carl Handwerk right on his tail. Carl looking to the outside. Brock trying to stay in the draft. That is not going to be good for him.
Yeah, Butler's sucking right up on the Nick. Let's see if he's got anything for him here. If he can get up on him on this straightaway, and he can shift into 6 if he can get a good enough run. Oh, he got a bad exit there, it looks like.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Carl Handwerk around Brock Veras now.
Oh, but Butler's going to have to hope he can get him on the backstretch here.
I think he will.
He's getting so much higher in that corner. He needs to get down a little lower in those corners, get a better run off. Yeah, he's not going to be close enough to get a good enough run there. Oh.
Yeah, you're right. It's not close enough.
Yeah, he's just getting a little bit too high in those corners. You got to stay down right next to that white line. And he was just getting up.
Saw his, he touched the apron there. Got a little
Yeah, he got a little too low there.
All right, here we go across the finish line. Paul Butler now has to defend against Carl Handwerk, trying to make a pass on him. As they go side by side, takes him to the corner, and we have the finish. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Butler able to defend that away from Carl Handwerk.
Wow, yeah, he barely held him off there.
Oh, he tried to get him. Oh, man, what a run.
Yeah, it looks like that'll lock Butler into the playoffs, so he'll be quite excited about that. He was quite nervous during the race, so.
It's a tough choice to make, you know, step out and try and run down Nick Nickerson or stay in your position, and he went for it. So I give him that, man.
I think, you know, because you really have to work the throttle when you're behind because of how tight they get. And I just think, you know, he just tightened up a little bit too much behind them, and that's why the higher line there. But,
yeah,
I mean, heck of a run by him, and, you know, good win by Nick there. And, you know, off to the rally course.
Good run for everyone. That was a tough track.
And Nick has lost a wing already, celebrating.
Yep, there goes a couple $1 million car. Oh, they're going to enjoy doing the fiberglass repair on that thing. Actually, carbon fiber.
Carl did not want him to celebrate and put him on his roof already.
Yeah. Going to have to get the rescue crew out there. Paul Butler trying to keep his car as clean as possible. Having to pay for these rentals is really expensive. Could you imagine if they did that after every race? Just wrecked all their cars.
I think the crew and the car owner might be quite pissed off.
Oh my gosh. Just all that R&D done after one race. Like, okay, we got a new car coming up. Don't mind us. All right, let's get these guys up into the booth.
Alrighty.
So once again, for tonight's finish, it's going to be first place Nick Nickerson, second place Paul Butler, third place Carl Handwerk, and then we have fourth Paul Owens, fifth Brock Veras, sixth Mark Thomas, seventh Bennett Allen, eighth going to Willie Evernham, ninth Kevin Foster, and 10th Matt Crockett. Ladies and gentlemen, our third place finisher for tonight, the number 18 himself, Carl Handwerk. Carl, this was not an easy race for a lot of people out here. Even you kind of got into it with a couple drivers. You survived, though. You made it. You made it across. You worked your way up the field, I think, 3 times completely. How did you feel about tonight's race overall for yourself?
Oh, I think you kind of hit it. It was survival. It was kind of putting yourself in that right position at the right time, and I was just a little bit short, maybe with with another lap or two. I could have made a run at it, but once I seen that Nick had the lead late there, and I had to come in and fix my car up a little bit, I knew that it was probably going to be out of reach. I was hoping that maybe somebody would get racy with him and they go side by side and kind of slow everybody up, but obviously that didn't happen because of all the yellows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a product of the car and this track. It's not that easy when you're going 220, 230 miles an hour and you make one little mistake, and these cars are really hard to correct, and you overcorrect, your car is done.
Yeah, and at 220 miles an hour, there's really no room for making a mistake, like you said. You make one minute decision, and even if you try to carry that momentum through, sometimes, once again, you're 228 miles an hour coming up against a wall very fast. It's most of the time it's going to be goodbye, and we'll see you next time. And so it's tough, especially for a lot of these cars. A lot of these guys don't drive these cars 24/7, so you got to get used to how they drive. They give you a lot of confidence on how well they stick, but the moment you get behind someone, it's enjoy being tight and sliding up into the wall.
Well, and that's really what I think some of the guys struggle with is, even though we knew it was going to be aero tight, I think it still just kind of shocks you a little bit when you're in the race.
You got to learn how to judge that position. That's the hard part.
You got to know how to back up the corner and just kind of settle in and get that run off the corner. And if you don't have it yet, you don't have it. Then you just got to ride around. And you try and push the issue at all, and it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, and that's one thing I actually didn't see these guys practice during practice was too much pack driving. That probably would have helped out a little bit more than just driving straight laps by themselves. Pack driving and learning how to back up that corner and taking turns doing that and experiencing what it feels like to be aero tight and how to recover it or how to stay away from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. It definitely sucks for some of the guys. Obviously, this was the last race for the playoffs, and it was kind of fluctuating back and forth towards the end there. And a couple late accidents, might have taken somebody out, putting somebody in. So working on it right now, and we'll let you know towards the end here who made it. But it was tight, and it's it was a good fun race. It's for the fact that we had to work from the back to get to the front. Obviously Nick did a good job of that. He was involved in I think an earlier wreck, so good to see that he's up there, and it was fun.
No, I definitely agree.
Sketchy but fun.
Yeah. Well, man, good job out there, and I'll play back up once the points are done.
Thanks, Segway.
All right, we're here with our second place finisher, Paul Butler. Paul, tell us about your run this evening.
I was just trying to take it easy and finish. So anytime I was behind somebody, I was letting off the gas, and I let a few people pass me that way. When their tires would wear out, I'd get them back. And a lot of these guys are so good. I just kind of followed what they were doing for a little while, and it worked out for me this time.
Yeah, you had a good run. Looked like you were able to stay out of a lot of the trouble. How did you find it, working back there, in that dirty air around everybody, trying to get through some of these corners? I know you said, lifting. Did you find yourself lifting, more when you're getting in heavier packs or just single cars, or?
Either one. I mean, heavier packs, you could feel whenever you turn, you could feel the car slide up. You can literally feel the tires letting loose and the car drifting up. And then when I was one-on-one behind Nick there, at one time at the end, I had the draft on him. I just didn't want to ruin his race and ruin my race trying anything stupid, so I didn't make a move at the end.
So were you sweating bad about getting in the points?
Man, I'm going to send you a picture of how bad I'm sweating right now. But yes, the points had me nervous. I mean, this whole week I've been worried about it, and it's just been a crazy week, and I was able to lock it in tonight, so I'm looking forward to the playoffs. This will be my first official playoffs with Core, so
So well, welcome, and I was glad to see you have a great run this evening. And it's only a matter of time before we get that W. You've been up there a good bit and challenging, and it's only a matter of time, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. It's about time. Goodness, it's about time.
Well, man, good job out there. Do you have anyone you want to shout out?
I want to shout out you. I want to shout out Eric. I mean, all these guys, the admins, we all work together all week long to make this thing happen. And then I've got my brother Larry and my nephews Bryson and Mason. They're at home in Charleston, and they're watching. So I just appreciate that. And I'd like to send a special shout out to the family of Perrin Miller. Unfortunately, he passed away this week, and I'm here for him. It's just a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I understand that, man.
Yeah, we definitely keep him and his family in their prayers.
Definitely.
I appreciate it.
Well, man, I hope you have a good night, and you did a great run out there, and definitely did a good job out in the field. So definitely something to be proud of, and we'll see you next week.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
We'll see you in the playoffs.
You got it.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first place finisher, the number 85, Nick Nickerson. Nick, both you and some of the point runners, due to the way the race started, you had to start off in the back and make your way up the field. And then once you got up there, you kind of anchored yourself in and just tried to have a dominating roll up there. Were you kind of scared that Paul Butler was going to give you a challenge the last couple laps?
I know passing with this setup for some reason is ridiculous. Like the draft on two equal cars is not as good as you'd think. Certainly not like it is in real life, or what it seems like in real life on TV. So I thought as long as I kind of cut off any of the advancing advancing lines in the corners, that they wouldn't be able to catch me.
Yeah.
So I felt pretty comfortable once I was up front that I was pretty much won. Although there was one time when Paul came on screaming up behind me, went from like 0.4 to 0.2 in a straightaway.
Oh, boy.
My heart skipped a little bit, but it's just the clean air is just no match, or the dirty air is no match for the clean air.
Right. Yeah. We saw that with Eric Andrews, actually, who's in the booth with us. He had the same thing, a dominating run through the mid section of the mid section of the race, where you had at least a 2-second lead on a lot of the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that clean air definitely makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, if it's like the aerodynamics of this car, or maybe it's the setup, the lack of being able to adjust the weight jacker and the arbs, or the roll bars.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we should this be like a like a super speeder race. You'd be passing back and forth, and then like it comes down to who passed the last person in the last corner.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It shouldn't be just like, single file on the top 5. But all in all, man, it was a fun race. It was kind of fun to pass a lot of cars, and there was a lot of yellows for sure, but
that's part of Indy cars, man. They're tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe when they finally, so IndyCar is like the only one of like, I think 6 cars. All 3 Indy cars are one of like, I want to say 6 or 7 cars that are not on the new tire model. They're still on V6. So
yeah, and that was a tire model that was atrocious for a lot of people.
Yeah, so maybe in December we're gonna get an update for the Indy cars, and it should drive a little bit better. But oh man, that's fun.
Awesome, man. Well, good job on your first place finish. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Carl and get those points from him.
Cool.
With that being said, before we let you go, do you have anyone you want to shout out?
Just appreciate Carl and everybody that puts on this league, and thanks for the broadcast, man.
You got it. Let's get Carl up here and see what happens with the points.
Alrighty.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Carl Handwerk, owner of the series. he's going to have the points announcement for us. So go ahead and give it to us, Carl. What happened?
Yep. So obviously the guys are already clinched. You know, we have Nickerson, myself, Foster, Heisey, and Andrews were clinched before this race. Wes Fuller will make it based on points. Paul Butler will make it based on points. Then the next guy in is Willie Evernham, also on points. Everybody else is based on points. From there, you have Matt Crockett will make it in the 9th position. And in the 10th position, as of right now, we're still checking on everything, but as of right now, it is Terry Condis making it as the 10th man in.
Oh, nice.
So everybody
squeaking through.
Yep. Everybody else will still technically be alive because we have the wild card. So for those that are unsure, basically anybody that is not in the final 4 for that last race, they will be accumulating points over the next 6 races. And the person that has the most points that's not in the final 4 will be the 5th driver that is going to compete for the championship in the last race. So we'll have 5 guys going for the championship in that last race. So even though you may not have made it right now, you're still a chance to get a championship.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Its hope is not all lost for some of the guys that didn't make it. They have a chance to race it out in those next 6 races. So let's see what these guys can do.
I got a question. When do we find out what the championship finale race will be?
It is going to be put up along with the voting for the All-Star race. I forgot to mention that. Both of those are going to be on the website as of tonight. So Paul Butler, our website guy, is going to be putting both of those up tonight. So you're going to be able to vote for the fan favorite for the All-Star race and also what the championship race is going to be. There's going to be 5 different choices. You can vote one time. If you're cheeky, you can technically vote on your phone and your computer. But yes, those will both be up tonight, and they will close the week before the final race.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Get on those devices, make your vote, get those tracks, and also I believe the driver, right? We also get that vote too.
Yep, the fan vote for the All-Star race. Yep. Correct.
So don't forget to get your driver in there, get the track that you want, and then with that being said, I hope everyone has a good night. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to the Vintage Series. So we're gonna have a good race out there tonight or tomorrow night. And with that being said, we have a full race week. So Vintage on Monday, DXR on Tuesday, and Irish and Short Course on Wednesday, and then back at it again on Sunday with our Premier Course Series. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.